Hello?
Go ahead, Yamuna. We can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Good evening all. Today I would like to share the concept of basic concepts of compute engine and the preemptible instances. So the Google Cloud Platform mainly divided into 4 categories. First one is the compute, and the second one is the storage, third one is the big data, and the fourth one is the AI. We all know that using the artificial intelligence, we will deal with the concepts like machine learning and the natural language processing and also image processing technologies. And coming to the big data, where we will deal with the mostly like unstructured data, like social media input also. And coming to storage, it deals with the structural data, like bank transactions data. So when coming to the compute, it mostly deals with the infrastructural requirements and also the application requirements. Like infrastructural requirements means virtual machines, which are handled by the compute engine, and the Kubernetes engines, which Kubernetes engine mainly deals with the containers. And what are the application requirements are deals with the app engine and the cloud function. App engine deals with mostly heavy applications like web applications. Cloud functions mostly deals with the very like very small functions, and they execute in a maximum span of 540 seconds. It doesn't take such a long time. So those are mostly like invoking any procedures or like that. So when coming to the compute engine, before before going to the compute engine, we will discuss what is virtual machine. So a virtual machine is a computer resource that uses software instead of a physical computer to run programs and deploy apps. In generally, like I'm not talking about any definition or anything, where we use the virtual machine. I have a standalone PC, Windows PC, but I'm trying to run iOS app. I don't have a Mac PC. So what I will do is I'll try to install a VMware software and create a Mac OS in the same PC. That means I don't have any physical another laptop, Mac laptop, but I am using the same my Windows laptop and instance of a Mac OS. So where I can check my apps, how they are executing, what are the faults and everything. That is what the virtual machine means. But that is sufficient for a standalone PC or anything. Why we need a cloud? Why we need a cloud means, suppose we are hosting a, we are hosting a, uh, sorry, uh, like an e-commerce application. So where the traffic is bit unpredictable. Sometimes it is very low and sometimes it is very high. We don't know which item will have the high demand. And one thing we are sure about, the holiday season is approaching means definitely we will get the more traffic. What we will do is, are we going to bring a new server and set up or otherwise, so it requires so much of manual work to us, and also it is also cost also matters. Instead of setting up and everything, why don't we use a cloud virtual machines? That means so cloud virtual machines from the Google, the cloud virtual machines are supported by the compute engine. So compute engine is an infrastructure as a service product offering flexible self-manageable virtual machines hosted on the Google infrastructure. So depending upon our website traffic, how many servers we need, we can choose the count, and also instantaneously it can increase the virtual machine instances, like it can increase depending upon the traffic. So what this compute engine offers us is a different kinds of OSs, Linux and the Windows based, and also durable storage options. and how we will control and configuration using the simple REST-based API configuration. And also the integration is also smoothly done with the cloud storage, App Engine, and the BigQuery. Why go with the Google Compute Engine? As we discussed, we don't have the our requirement is we are having the certain software and also some licensing reasons also there. So what we will do is, as usual, copy we need whatever our server copy we have, we need a same copy. So we will get those like Xerox copies of our servers, and we will run our existing applications on the cloud without having to make any changes. And also pay-wise also, how much we are using, that much only we pay. Not like it's like a pricing like fixed price. You need to do this, you need to pay for this much amount or nothing like that. So depending upon our usage, we are going to pay. Benefits of Compute Engine. So live migration. Even though our application is running and it is in a maintenance mode, without interruption, we can run our application. And right side suggestions. Based upon our needs, it will suggest which size VM is the best for our requirements. And also the container supports. It supports deployment of containers. So coming to the creating a virtual machine, first of all, we need to.
Sorry to interrupt you. I have one question. What does containers means here?
Containers means these are the related to Kubernetes engine. Google is having its own Kubernetes engine. Containers actually works on the virtual machine itself. Like suppose while we are in the production stage, what is happening is we find out the sorry, can you mute?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Okay, so in the virtual machine, we are running a application. We found that 4 errors are there. And to fix the 4 errors, what we need a same machine in a 4 times. So what will happen is once we use the container, same virtual machine, the 4 different persons can access at the same time. That is called the container concept. For that, we need to use the Dockers also. Excuse me. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. It will become again. It's a huge topic. It will be. So I just want to end up like just what is container and where we use.
Okay.
Otherwise, Tim, can you help us with the containers more? Hello?
Yeah, sorry, you're asking me something?
No. If anybody can help like with the containers, or is it enough? Like,
yeah, this is enough. I believe like container means it will create a replica of what we are doing. How many instances we request, that many containers will get created, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can also add here, like when I was exploring about the App Engine, that time I came across this container word when there was this custom thing required, if we are starting like creating an application on like using the App Engine itself, then they have their specific configurations and things like that. But when we are trying to migrate with an existing application to Google Cloud App Engine, then we would get a customized like this would be a container for them, because it is like since it's something we need to like it is something where an existing app need to fit into their model. So it's like, a container where we would fit our existing application into their model, so that it works in a way that it behaves as if it was created there. Like, on creating a new application, we are all anyways going to configure as they are asking us to do it. But when we are going to take an existing application over there, then they would provide a container kind of thing, where we would again make some changes. Like, it's for a custom built thing. That's what I learned in while studying for the App Engine. But yeah, later I think we can explore more on this, but this is the concept that I understood. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So we will see how can we create a virtual machine in a cloud environment. So first of all, to create a virtual machine, we need to enable the credit card settings, and we need to create a project. It will take some time to create a VM instance.
Yamuna, are you sharing anything? Because we can just see the slide.
Oh, sorry. So are you guys able to see my Google Platform console?
No.
No, Yamuna. Please
No?
slide and you could just see at the bottom of your screen like a gray box or something. It doesn't show.
Yamuna, yeah, you can stop sharing and share the screen again. Then it might work.
Okay. So is the screen visible now? The Google Platform?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So here we need to give a project name. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to delete the existing VM instance. I don't know why it is not giving to me to create a new project. Okay, this is the last step actually, shutdowning the existing projects. Okay. Can you guys see the cloud environment?
Yeah, Yamuna.
Okay. So, from the console, we choose the compute engine. From there, we choose the VM instance. And now it is giving us the option to create. Okay, just we are going to give the naming, like I'm keeping the instance one. From there, we need to choose the region. I'm choosing the South Carolina because it is near to me, and also also zone. As we discussed earlier, two kinds of families, predefined and two kinds of machines, predefined machine and custom defined. In this also, like I'm going with the I'm choosing the predefined. In that I'm choosing the general purpose. For the trial purpose only, they don't give the compute optimized and the memory optimized versions. Okay. See the naming convention, how it is like E2, N2, N2D and N1. So for the presentation purpose, I'm just creating the N1. Here, the boot disk will let us choose the OS which we required for the virtual machine. The default is a Debian, but I'm changing it to the Windows Server. And in this also so many versions are there. There we can go with the 2012 R2 data center. Depending upon the version, here the size allocated is going to change. If I choose the another version, it will give me the some 32 GB, sometimes 64 GB, different like GB allocation is going to change based upon the version. And I selected that one. And here, identity and the API access. Here comes the web service into the picture. The Google platform will give us the REST APIs. I'm using the default ones and also setting up the firewalls like HTTP traffic. If you use the Linux or the Unix, then you will go with the SSH ones. Okay, it takes some time. Meanwhile, like here the internal IP, as we discussed, it deals inside the Google Cloud environment, and the external IP we can access from the outside also. Okay, see this one is the internal one and this one is the external IP, and the RDP means remote desktop protocol. And here we can set up the password for this. So we have to give the credentials. Here I'm taking like admin, and here the Google will only set up the password. We are not going to set up the password. So it is very important to save the password. This is the new password. Okay. Now we will see how it works. So we will download the RDP file. Girls, can you able to see the downloaded instance or just still the cloud environment? Hello?
Your screen is actually stuck.
Instance downloaded down near your screen, right? Downside instance dot.
Yes, this one.
Yeah,
Are you guys-
that's I can see, but you have to zoom little, I think.
Okay, just I'm saying like downloaded thing. It nothing to do with that one. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's downloaded.
So we just that means nothing but if you click on this and if you click on double click on this, the remote connection is going to establish.
You want to click on the downloaded instance?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, we can do it from the run command prompt also. Like this is the easiest option. Just download the instance and double click on it. It says some certification errors, but I'm bypassing it.
I think your screen is froze.
Really?
Because your cursor is just standing there. That's what I see.
Yes, it's frozen.
Okay. Are you guys able to see any remote desktop now?
No.
You have not shared your screen, Samna. Yeah, now I can see.
Okay, this is the new instance 34.75. This is the external IP. This is the new virtual machine we created. From there you will play like whatever your requirement. And from the command prompt, I'm trying to connect with the new instance. Are you guys able to see this command prompt and everything? Hello?
No.
No?
Ini screen కనిపిస్తుంది రామ కనిపిస్తాను కదా
No?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. Using the ping command from my machine, using the ping, and I connected to this external IP. There the connection is established, and these are the like time taken for the like minimum and maximum and the average time to take the connection establishment. Thank you, girls. This is what I did for the presentation purpose. And
Can I ask you one question?
yeah.
Or anybody like who can answer me. So in this, like you have created the virtual machine instances, right?
Yes.
And which means that there are two instances now. One is internal and one is external.
Yes.
The internal one is your computer itself.
No, using the external one, that means external means out of Google Cloud platform. My machine is not belongs to my laptop is not belongs to Google Cloud platform. From my machine, if I want to access the virtual instance on the cloud, I am using the external IP. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it gets stored on cloud, right? So you are just going to access anything through this IP address.
Yes, yes. It is like the new computer over there on the cloud.
Right. And then again, like it will have a limitation, like how much time you can use it, or like how many days you can use that.
Yeah, these are all based upon that. The pricing will be vary. Like it is all like how much you use, how do you use, and you will pay for that one.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, girls. Tim, I'm done. To revoke the deleted project. Okay, now we will move to the preemptible virtual machines. What are the preemptible virtual machines? Preemptible virtual machines are very small scale virtual machines. Like again here, what we are using, we are paying for that. That is why these are the low cost VMs. And because of the low cost, these are very highly affordable. And these preemptible virtual machines lifespan is very less, maximum of 24 hours. If our application is a fault tolerant and can withstand possible instant preemptions, our compute engine cost lower by the 80%. And one drawback from the preemptible virtual machines is the same resource, like we are using the existing virtual machine, like main virtual machine resource for the preemptible virtual machines. If in case any other persons comes and access the main virtual machine, this preemptible virtual machine just stop by itself, because there we might lose some functionality, but mostly it doesn't happen. In generally, it doesn't happen. That is why people will go with the preemptible virtual machines. The case study for the preemptible virtual machine. Planet. What is the Planet? Sorry, not the Planet. It's it's like a company. The name is Planet, and it uses the 84 satellites to take everyday Earth's pictures. Why it is taking the pictures continuously? Because it want to see wherever the Earth may by processing the images, where are the effects are going on, like where are the changes are going on. So why do we need those changes? Maybe now we know the borders in between the countries. Is there anything happening near the borders? By processing those images, they understood, okay, these things are happening over there. And also agriculture purpose also, we know okay, the soil is going to change like this. We can plant these kind of crops and all these things. Okay, what is how it is the preemptible instance are helping the planet. Every day in the 24-hour span, it is loading the 7 to 10 terabytes of data daily. And after 24 hours, it's just shutting down. The planet is using the 40,000 preemptible virtual machine instance concurrently. That means 60% less cost compared to the fixed compute engine. Compute engine is effective, it is affordable or suggestible when we know, okay, this is not going to be a small, its lifespan is more than the 20.